Missy Jen smiling because she knows an apple pie be coming, huh? You like apple pie, huh?
I love apple pie.
She loves apple pie, guys. You know, there's nothing more exciting than harvesting your own fruit like we do here on the rancho. In this case, our apples, our beautiful Gravenstein apple, which is a heritage heirloom variety, and making a beautiful apple pie. We're going to knock one out real quick today. We're not going to take a lot of time to go through a zillion steps. If you go on my, if you go into my videos on my search box and put pie crust, you'll find the way I make a pie crust. Yeah, I'm going to do one here, but I'm not going to take a lot of time. Let's just say shortening works best when it comes to making crust because it makes it flaky and tasty. So another big hint I want to tell you guys is you pre-cook your apples a little bit first. A lot of people's apple pies turn out soggy or they're incredibly dry inside because, well, they don't do enough. They don't pre-cook their filling and bring it up to the point where it's just starting to set, and then you add it to the shell and then put your top on it and pop it in the oven. So, all right, come on in. Let's get the process started. Missy Jen, we'll see you at the back end when it's eating time. Okay. All right, in my pot there I have cut up about 12 apples, and as you can see, I'm putting the heat very low on this. I'm going to now add my spices in, and I'm going to let this cook down a little bit just till these apples get translucent. I have 1 tablespoon of corn starch in there. I'm going to turn off the heat a second. I'm going to grab my spoon and I'm going to go ahead and add my spices. Now the first one I'm going to add is clove, and you got to be very careful with clove. Clove is an extremely powerful spice. I like to use about 1/8 of a teaspoon and spread that around because, believe me, that taste is powerful. Too many people make apple pies and they put so many spices on it that the apple just gets totally lost in there. So I want to put about let's see, I got a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to put it in allspice here. I'm going to add that in there. And don't do like I do. You shouldn't put it over top of your... You shouldn't do it over top of your mix. I'm going to put 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg in here, and make sure yours are fresh, okay? And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon here, okay? Yeah, I gotta like cinnamon, the big size, right? I'm gonna pop that right on there. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to stir this in. Work all that spice goodness in there. And I also have about 3/4 of a cup of sugar in there. And sugar's an excellent binder. Okay? So I'm going to put the heat back on, and we're going to let this reduce here. And these are, like I said, these are our own Gravenstein apples. And while these are cooking down, I'm going to get the ingredients. We're going to make a two-parted pie crust, one for the bottom and one for the top. So I need to get my ingredients out with that. I think I still have some shortening. And let me tell you, that filling makes it really good between. You can see that in there. I'm going to also go ahead and add about a 1/4 of a stick of butter here too. Let me grab that. What that does is it really smooths the mixture out. Gives it a little bit of creaminess to it. So we'll put it in there. Okay. And this way you won't get a pie that's underdone and raw, and you won't get one that's like a block when you go to eat it. So I'm going to cover that a bit, and we'll get on with making our crust. I also added just the tiniest little bit of Spice Island vanilla too. And vanilla is one of those flavorings that helps bring other flavorings out to and I can tell you that the smell in this kitchen is phenomenal, and this is just going to be amazing. It's all going to cook down and all going to liquefy all that goodness. Oh yeah. And that's it. I'm just going to put that on the side over there, and that is ready to go as pie filling. All I have to do is pop the cover on there, and that's going to be amazing. And I don't have to worry about that setting up. I'll take about one half a tablespoon of cornstarch, and I'll add it in just at the end, just to be sure. Give it one good stir and then into the pie shell. Let's make a pie dough. All right, so in a bowl, we're going to start preparing our pie dough. So you want to work quickly on this. It's very hot today. It's 100 something. So this is not something you want to dilly-dally making the crust. So we're going to put 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour in here. We're going to add, just to make it a little sweeter, about 1 tablespoon of sugar. And to that we're going to add about 1/2 of a cup of shortening. And remember, shortening is what's going to allow it to really be flaky and crusty. I'm going to add a little bit of butter for flavoring too. And butter doesn't work nearly as well, at least I believe. Maybe for some people it does. So I'm going to add that, put my butter away real quick. And then I'm going to grab a second knife here. And I'm going to go ahead and start cutting this in. This is a very important part of the process. You want to get these pieces as small as possible. And they do sell pastry knives for doing this, and you want to make sure that these bits of butter and shortening are about pea size when you're done. So this is a critical part of getting a good crust here. We're also going to add a little bit of salt because salt adds structure. In here, I'm going to go ahead and add that. A little bit. Pop that in there. I'll make it good and stir that around good and keep cutting in. This is the hard work, but it pays off. Okay, and when you get it in small enough small enough beads, you can actually get in here, and I've washed my hands, and you can actually start flaking or pushing that between your thumbs, flaking that shortening and butter and pushing that flour into it. And what that does, ooh, it is hot today. What that does is, well, it helps enhance the flakiness. You don't want it to melt. You just want to smush it real quick and flatten it and work it into the flour. Okay. You can see that this flour is starting to get some moisture in it because the butter and the sugar are being introduced into it. That's the way we ensure that we get a uniformly flaky crust. Don't be afraid to get in there with your fingers. Smash those bits down and mash them real good. Very, very important. You don't want any big lumpy pieces. You can see that that's starting to get sort of a little bit rougher looking. It's not fine anymore because of all the moisture from the butter and the flour that's been introduced. So I'm going to keep working that in a little bit more, and I'm very happy now. I don't have any big bits left. And I'm going to make it well in the center here, and I'm going to pour maybe a tablespoon. Well, I want to use ice water today, so I want to use a tablespoon. Let me get my cup. I'm going to get some very cold water. Be right back. Let's get a little bit of ice in here. I'm going to pour a little bit of water in here. And because I'm using cold water, this will help it from, this will keep the butter and the sugar, excuse me, the butter and the shortening from melting. Okay, you don't want to, you want that to maintain its basic fat form. You don't want that to liquefy. Okay, any big clumps you have left, then go ahead. I put in about a tablespoon right in the center, and I just work the pastry mix into the center there. Add a little bit more. Don't over add, okay? And you'll see it start to come together really well. It's going to want to form a ball, and that's exactly what you want. See the way that came together really good? I'm going to add a little bit more. I don't want it to be too dry. Add that last little bit in there. Work that real good. Keep working that around. Work all that moisture all throughout. It's going to be very important for rolling this out, okay? All right. And that's perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some flour on the counter here. I'm going to go ahead and chip this out now, right into the flour. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to form that into a nice ball. Don't get too much flour. The flour is just to keep it from sticking. This gives it its final little bit of working. You don't want to work it too much or it'll be very tough. Okay, we're going to pull off one ball here for the top crust. And we're going to have one ball for the bottom crust here. Okay. All right, that's going to be perfect. We just want to work that a little bit more so we get a nice uniform. We don't want it to. We don't want this to get too warm. So look at that. Okay. There's our bottom, and here is our top, and we can roll that out nice and thin. Okay. For right now, I just want to refrigerate this a little bit and let the gluten settle. Okay. There we go. And then we'll roll it out and make our pie. All right. Next thing, we got a rolling pin. It's time to put some flour down and start to roll out. This is the shape. This is, I think this is a 9.5-inch shell. It's a pretty big size shell. We want to work from the center and work all the way out. Give a turn. It's going to have a little springiness to it because it's still very young dough. You want to try to just keep the flour on one side of it if you can. You neither want a pie dough that's too flat, nor too thick, nor too thin. I guess I should say just a little tiny spritz on top here. Okay, real easy here. That's behaving very nicely, that dough. Turn that again, get some more of that pick up some more of that flour, roll it all the way to the edge now. You don't want the edges thicker than the middle, okay? Another turn. Okay. We're getting it. Okay. Got some little thing in there. Get that out of there. A lot of people are very intimidated when it comes to making pies because they believe the dough is so hard to work, and it does take experience. I'm not going to kid you. It does take experience. Okay, take that and sit that, and that's going to be perfect. So what I'm going to do is now roll this on here, like so. You're thinking I'm looking very professional, huh? And then I just want to undo that. Right over the top, just like so. Right, just like that. Look at how that looks. And if it's too low, there's not enough in one area, just pull a little off of another and add it over, because you're going to want to seal these edges on this, okay? Anywhere I have a little less, I just add a piece in. How's that look? I'll just add a few pricks on the bottom. Okay. Now I can go ahead and I'm going to take my, actually take my filling now. I'm going to add this, and I'm going to sit this, when I start to bake it, I'm going to start it on the bottom. I'm going to start it on the bottom of the oven, believe it or not, because I want this, the big risk here, since you're not doing a blind bake for the bottom, the big risk is that you don't get the bottom of it cooked. So there goes in a half 1 teaspoon of starch in again. I'm going to give this one more stir here. Just want to get the stirring stick out over here. I'm going to give that one more good stir. Get that cornstarch evenly distributed, and into the pie shell she goes. Okay. Get all that goodness in there. Okay. All that goodness spread on there. Okay. I'm going to sit that aside for a minute. We're now going to take a minute to roll out our top dough. Same deal, spread some, and let's start working this, okay? Are you having fun? I know I am. Even on a hot summer day, it's still fun to be in the kitchen. So make sure you got enough flour down there. The dough is starting to wake up a little bit because of the heat, and I don't want it to get sticky. Okay. All right. And this will be it's usually a thinner. Some people like it uniform. I think the top is a little nicer. If it's a little bit thinner, remember to do your turns too. And we're doing this in real time, guys. There we go. Okay. That's what makes it all the more fun, having you guys in here. Real time. Pull that over. I'm hitting on that grate on the oven. More, and we should be good to go. I just want to try setting that. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this off now on here, and then I'm going to go lay this right across the top like that. You can adjust it a little bit. Have to pull it in one direction. Just start turning and sealing as you go around. Okay? Turn it and seal it. Turn it up. Okay. I like to fold it into the interior here. You get a nice bit of pastry crust on the outside there. Turn that right in just like that. We'll clean it up and beautify it in a minute, don't worry. The important thing is to make sure you got it sealed good. You don't want the juices flowing out. Although when you bake this, you want to be very sure you have aluminum foil down on a catch pan below it, or you'd be having a mess. So I'm now starting to go around and kind of neaten that a little bit before I get on to the fluting of it. Just tucking that in a little bit. Okay, that's looking better already. Now I'm going to take my thumb and my finger and I'm going to go around and I'm going to do that, I'm going to push down and do that fluting on the edge just like that. Isn't real-time baking fun? Push that real good, get that a nice indent. Man, that looks good. That really looks beautiful. Look at how nice that is with the fluting on it. So now what we can do is just make sure that's tucked in. We've got to put some vent holes in it. So what we'll do is we'll put one little X in the middle there. Put some around the outside here. There it is. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to get my turbinado sugar, and this is my own little hack here. I like turbinado sugar. I'm going to take that and I'm going to very liberally coat the top of that because that's going to give a beautiful sugary crust. And it's going to look amazing. So let me get my foil. I'm going to pop it in the oven. I'm going to put it on the bottom of the oven, for about 5 to 8 minutes, and then I'm going to move it up to the upper rack for about 35 to 45 minutes or so. Okay? I know it's unconventional, but you've got to get the bottom cooked on this. It's absolutely imperative. So let me prepare, and then we'll pop her in the oven. It just looks almost good enough to eat right now, doesn't it, Missy Jen? Your pie. Huh?
Yeah.
Missy Jen's a happy camper here. So onto our plate. And as I mentioned, we're going to pop this right on the bottom. Missy Jen's going to be my timekeeper. We keep forgetting to get a new timer. So Missy Jen, I need about 6 minutes, okay? We're going to start by putting this directly on the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to transfer it. So I need about 6 minutes, Missy Jen, okay? Woo! All right, about 8 minutes went by, and what I actually did was take it off of the bottom, put it up on the upper rack, and then I put the pan below it with the foil in case of any drips, and I don't want that really burning. So what I think I'm going to do is maybe just stick that right under like that. How about that? I think that's the better way to do it, don't you? She's baking away. See you in 30 minutes and we'll check it. We're gonna knock this heat down to about 400 right now, okay? I had it real high to blast the bottom of that pie. I had it up about 650 to 700. And I've got the bottom of that pie. I got a good head start on that dough on the bottom, so it well, it's not doughy when it's done. So I've now backed it off to about 400 degrees, and we're going to see what this looks like in a half hour. We got to make sure it's bubbling out of there, out of the pie. Okay. See you in a half hour. Let's take a little peek, shall we? We're about 25 minutes in, and you can see it's starting to bubble. It kind of lifted the crust a little bit, pulled away slightly, but that's fine. It's going to be uber tasty. You can see that's setting up good. That's awesome. So, yep, we're going to go about rotate that a little bit here. Put my glove on because this baby is hot. Rotate that a little bit, and we're going to go about 10 more minutes, and that should be a wrap. Okay, that's about it. Don't want to overdo anything on that. The crust, it's not a very thick crust, so I don't want any burning on it or anything. So go ahead and turn our oven off now. Go ahead and very carefully remove the pie here. You can see that's perfect. That started actually bubbling up inside. I'm not crazy about running the oven in summertime, but if you get results like this, it's definitely worth it. You can see it started bubbling up through the crust, which signifies it's basically reached the done point there, the set point for the extra cornstarch that I put in, and this should be some kind of great eating. What do you think? Is that a thing of beauty or what? I bet that's flaky. Awesome crust. We had a little bit, could have tucked that a little more over here, but that's what makes a homemade pie a homemade pie. It's not a commercial one. It's not visually perfect, but eating wise it's better than anything you'll ever get commercially. So Missy Jen, come on over, take a look, see what you think.
It's great. I'm gonna stuff my face in there.
What do you think? Can't wait for that. We gotta let that cool. Put that on the back windowsill, you know, cool off. Your own apples from the apple tree out there. Look good, huh? Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night. All right.
Tonight's the night. Tonight.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it for Missy Jen and myself. And I'll tell you, for my own self, I know I'm on a diet, but I can't wait to have a piece and try a piece of this pie. The Germans love that, huh? It's like a strudel, huh?
Yeah,
Smell.
My mood is Apfelstrudel, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Arnold
Arnold said, I will have a piece of that pie.
Mein Mood is Apfelstrudel, jawohl, yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you in a bit. The proof of the pudding will be in the eating.
I'm drooling already.
Alright guys, it's time to cut the pie to see how it turned out. Are you excited, Missy Jen?
Very, I've been
You've been thinking about
shivering
that all day.
me timbers all
Shivering your
day.
timbers. Come on in, bring it in nice and tight here. Get a piece for you here.
Check out that lusciousness.
Get a nice piece. You gotta always be careful. That first one is always the hardest one. Get out there. Oh, look at that, huh? How does that look, Missy Jen? Nice. See the way it holds together. You pre-cook your ingredients, your apples and everything, and you don't have them loose and goosing all over the place. So I'm going to switch off with you and let you have a bite of that. Okay, get yourself a fork, Missy Jen, and this will be our finale for the viddy here. Get you in the light. So there we go. Have a little bite of that, Missy Jen.
I already took a shower and
Smile in
everything
your
because I
shower.
salted myself earlier.
There we go. You were so excited. You were You were sweating thinking about it. There we go. Those Germans love apple and apple pastry, huh?
My mother's Apfelstrudel.
There we go. That baby turned out pretty good.
I
Hugs the
can
plate
always
good.
say my Rosie's Apfelstrudel is the best.
Just their apple pie, huh?
My Rosie's Apfelstrudel is the best, yeah.
Alright guys, there we go. There it is, the finale. Thanks for being here. We whipped out a very, very quick apple pie today. Glad you enjoyed it, honey. Alright, thanks everybody.